Hello again, Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games here, and this time painting Devastators from Warhammer 40,000. Starting off with a touch of Golden Skin 09092. And the Devastators are a heavy weapons team. And consisting of 5 to 10 models. 4 of them can swap their bolt guns for heavy weapons. So, the kit, though, comes with only 2 of every weapon, so if you want an entire squad of, say, las cannons, you'll have to buy more than 1 kit, which I will do eventually, though I'll only do 1 video for Devastators. And to flesh it to, fill it out, flesh it out, and Rosy Skin 09068, I'd recommend just getting a Space Marine Tactical Squad. The value of doing so would just be to give more buys in the squad to keep your heavy weapons safer. And it comes with an Armorium Cherub, which, according to the Dark Imperium novel, Gilman thinks is creepy. These cherubs are vat-grown constructs of flesh meant to inspire religious fervor in those around them. And as opposed to being sentient beings, are more like meat puppets. So it looks like it's carrying a melt-a-bomb, but in-game this can be spent basically to allow a Devastator to shoot a second time in 1 turn, which is handy for taking care of things that absolutely positively must be destroyed. And since this is a vat-grown construct, I'm going to be giving it a very bizarre skin tone that doesn't quite look right. And taking Army Painter Ultramarine blue and a larger brush, I'm going to try to knock out the rest of the blue as quick as I can. So in this case, since I only got 2 of each system, I gave 2 las cannons and 2 plasma cannons. What I'll probably eventually do is do enough Devastator kits to do full squads of each possible weapon, so 6 squads total, though I'd unlikely use all of them in the same game, and I don't think I even could per rules, but it's all for the love of the hobby. Even if you hate Devastators, I'd recommend getting the kit just for the parts, because they are compatible with other standard Space Marines and are a way to give your tactical squads the other heavy weapons. I considered that a tease when I got my first tactical Marine kit, because it only had the missile launcher for the heavy weapon. And while that is a versatile one, sometimes you just want a las cannon. Now, looks like the Space Marine Heroes blind purchase set is now available. I used to do blind purchase games, but I'm not a fan of them anymore. But I may get a few of these to test out other color schemes like Imperial Fists and White Scars, being 2 of the top ones in my mind. This is something I'm not completely sold on yet, but this is something I'm thinking about doing. Probably won't make a decision for a good long while on that. My focus on Warhammer 40,000 is right now maximizing my units. So for Space Marines, I need to get another box of Inceptors. For Orcs, I think 1 box of Gretchen and I think 3 boys and 2 Bruno boys. And Tal, I'll take a look at. It's been a while. I need to paint the Marine's armor, not his plasma cannon. So going crude on the first coat. Where is his? Okay, there it is. So many wires on this cannon. A little tricky to tell where the hand ends and the gun begins. The Devastators also show how tough the Space Marines are, rather strong, because these weapons would normally have to be mounted on vehicles or tripods, bipods. The Imperial Guard, I know, has some of these options. I know they've got the las cannon, and the Astra Militarum sculpt has it mounted on a tripod. And I drop a Marine. Okay. I am starting to get the hang of this Army Painter brand. It seems a little bit thinner than the Reaper Master series and needs less water to thin it out, but you should still thin it out. I need a little more. And the sergeant here has a couple of servo skulls and a targeting device. I know it's got a specific name in the rules, I just can't think of it. I need to be a little more cautious with him, so I don't hit the skin tone I just did. Okay. And this targeting device gives one model in the squad an accuracy bonus. But as all their best toys are heavy weapons, you want them sitting down in the back. Now, something worth mentioning. I wasn't going to do this, but I wasn't going to redo videos as I get new stuff. But since I have a better camera, I may go ahead and do that and just notate higher quality or something like that with duplicate squads. Again, just because this camera is so much better than the one I started with. So getting it just in time too, because the next 5 videos after this one are going to be particularly impressive. Okay. And I could do the skulls now, but since they're going to be the same color as the purity seals, I'll go ahead and hold off on that. So I can just dry and we'll move on a little later. Okay, let's get that volume turned down a bit. Okay, that's better. Okay, let's see, where is it? 09143 Yellow Bone. Been a long day. I think my brain dropped the clutch 3 hours ago, so let's see if I can get through this next clip without saying anything deranged. Make a little room there. Go ahead and start with the servo skulls here. I'm not worried about the machinery, I'll pick that out later. These are made from the skulls of humans considered very worthy. And it's seen as a reward for those who serve the Emperor well in life that they continue to serve in death after a fashion. So these are actually made from skulls. Now, where? I know I've got a purity seal on this guy somewhere. Or could this be the only model in the unit that doesn't have one? Well, okay then. He's got enough bric-a-brac anyway without it, I'd say, so. Just one of those moments. See, just the one, just the one. Okay. All right. So how about leaf green 09011? Add a little color to some of the weapons here. Just a bit on his combo melta. And during my local Warhammer store's birthday event, I picked up the art book, The Emperor Protects, and looking at the older art for this game, it would not have been out of place to see Warhammer 40,000 in toy stores alongside Masters of the Universe or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, in my opinion. The art style, as it started out, got very cartoony at times, with kind of chunky proportions, for lack of a better word, and very bright, vivid color schemes. So I want to bring some of that coloration back into my Space Marines, at least here and there. But the more modern art style for 40K, it definitely hits the look they're going for. That grim and gritty. And I was torn on doing this part here in red or green and made a choice. I'll eventually do a tactical squad whose heavy weapon is a plasma cannon at some point, so I'll do red on that one. Nope, never mind, I got that. Okay. And do I want to do the same on the last guns? No. Do a different color. Eventually I'm going to split this up into two different squads, one with all plasma cannons, one with all las cannons. So, take Violet Red 09026. So, I think right there. And as long as I've got, oh no, never mind, I've got another color to do wires with. Just do the violet red on part of the las cannons here. And then I'll use this on the Armorium Cherub's loincloth. Oh, I just noticed this little thing that does have a purity seal on it. Doesn't stand out from the leg too much, but it is there, so I'll go ahead and take that ivory and just get the parchment there real quick. Okay. What else can I do right this second? Not much, so... Alright, we'll call that good for the time being, move on in a little bit. Okay, next up is Stormy Gray, 09088. And I just saw a trailer for this upcoming Detective Pikachu movie, and I think my brain's dropped the clutch. I'm just kind of baffled that this is an actual movie, not and it wasn't some kind of fan trailer. It just seems like an odd. It just seems kind of odd in general. But, yeah, I think my brain dropped the clutch. So we're gonna get the body glove underneath the power armor here. As well as the bulk of the weaponry. Let's see, do I want to... yeah, for now I might repaint the barrel of that melted portion of his weapon later, but for now I'll call it good. Let's see here. Yeah, this connection point on this servo skull is really flimsy, so have to be somewhat careful with it. This other one's a little more sturdy, but some caution is still warranted. Let's see. Okay. Bad grip there. So starting with the underlying body glove. Go ahead and redo this portion here, I think. See, that's his finger. Those are his fingers. Coming around and hitting the other side, and then the barrel. This portion here is going to be a lighting effect. There's going to be a lot of silver on here. Get closer to finishing up. Okay. That's pretty good for that. Now we'll just take care of the other one real quick. Alright, okay, just trying to make sure I'm in camera. Still getting used to this and the new. Alright. Using 3 or 4 words when I need to only use one. That's a weird habit of mine. Let's make sure I hit the body glove before I forget to. And then the cherub's holding a melta bomb here. At least I think this is supposed to be a melta, but whoa. Okay. Antique gold 09050. You can tell my brain has dropped the clutch when I dip the wrong end of the brush into the water. Oh my. I see, this is how today's going. I may need to do a second coat of this, but it's okay if that turns out that way. Oh, I noticed the captain, the sergeant here, does have a purity seal on his shoulder. Alright, I'll fix that later. Oh boy. This is exactly why I shouldn't paint when I'm tired. Then just looking for details I want to pick out with the gold. Oh, and there's another purity seal on the shoulder here I didn't see. Okay, I'll get that too. Oh, it's frustrating. I'm not concerned about that little dip of blue. I'll take care of it when I do touch-ups. And never be afraid of touch-ups. It's just something that's going to happen. creepy flying baby, the cherub. Okay. And then a little bit of blonde hair, 09257. Not much. The Sarge just has a short buzz cut. Okay. Yikes. There's one more color I can do right this second, and that's oiled leather 09110. Just a bit on the bandolier here. Okay, gonna let that dry and hit some touch-ups. Alright, a few touch-ups later. Deep red 09002. I see that's how today's going to be. Getting the wax portion of the purity seals with this. Trying to see if I missed any. It's already happened quite a bit in this video. Okay. Fire red 09004. Get started on some cabling. Okay. What's kind of funny about Warhammer 40,000 is because of the Imperium's fear and distrust of AIs, to a certain extent, the computer equipment they use is actually archaic compared to modern standards. And I'm sure that now that I've said that, there's going to be commenters screaming heresy in the comments. This is a bit tricky the way it winds around, but I've dealt with worse. Okay, and repeat on the other plasma cannon equipped Devastator. Keeping the brush moist but not overly wet. Just about there. There it is. Old Bronze 09197. Just a small number of details here to pick out. We'll go ahead and use it on the barrel of the Meltagun just for consistency with the other Meltagun I've painted up. And Tarnished Steel 09206. We'll be lighting effects in this targeting device. it's just dawned on me with all those cables coming off that servo skull that if the Imperium of Mankind had escalators, modern-style escalators, low-flying servo skulls would get stuck in them all the time. Getting the cables here. Just make sure I did it properly on the other one real quick. There, yeah, looks good. Just about there on base coats. I believe this is the last one I need to do. Well, not so much need as wants to do. Okay. There's one more base coat on select models, Cloudy Gray 09089. And that's because some of these Marines are standing on rubble. Let's try to make sure I'm in camera for this. Okay, now that is base coats. Okay. Let that dry, then I can start shading. Okay. Testing? Alright. It's been a funky day. Time to start shading. Let's go with Pine Green 09010. Didn't sleep well. It's been a funny day. Thought I'd have these guys done by now, but it's been a very bizarre little week here. So, this has been one hell of a year for 40K with a bunch of cross-compatible box sets like the oh, great. Just lost my train of thought. Like the Speed Freaks for Orcs. The a lot of Kill Team stuff, including the Elicidian Star Striders set, which is also kind of on my radar. And the upcoming Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress set also looks very nice to me. Hoping I might be able to get a couple of those, but we'll see what happens the next few months. Oh, that's part of the plasma coil there, okay. So again on shading, about half paint, half water, depending on what effects you go or what colors you use. You might need to go a little more water. Straight black of the share, for example, probably 2 to 3 parts water per 1 part paint. And same with lighting effects, 2 to 3 parts water to 1 part paint. But using your own experience and judgment is probably the best call all around. Uh-oh, almost dropped a mirror. Burgundy wine 09025. Maybe I should have got the gold first. Interesting that these last cans are not exactly identical. Then again, I get the gist that everything in the Imperium is handmade, but the skull and crossbones on this one isn't complete. Might be a miscast, but might be personal, I'm not sure. And the cherub's loincloth. So what do you think? Do you think all of these things, creepy cyber baby sounds better? Just saw a video from the Angry Video Game Nerd going over an old Resident Evil spin-off game, calling the Tyrant Naked Claw Guy, which is hilarious. Blonde Shadow 09256. That's me shooting out whatever pops into my decidedly unstable head right this second. Astartes regulation crew cut done. Okay. And then red brick 09001. Get the purity seals and anything else I happen to do in that color. Just do a little dot on the top of each of them. Grabbed him in the wrong spot. What else can I do right this second? I think the leather, 09109, Ruddy leather. It's only the strap. I don't think bandolier is the correct term for this, but I might be wrong. Just a nice, just quick, thin layer. Okay, what else? What else? Right this minute. Not much bronze. I can probably do that. So, aged pewter 09196. Fine. So, melt a gun barrel. And then he's got a little bullet. I think that's it. What else? Can I do anything else? Oh, I think I can do some wires. So blood red 09003. Almost grabbed it by the paint. I just painted. Oh boy! I am now reversing the English language. Okay. Well, hopefully I don't end up talking like Yoda during these videos. I just noticed I somehow managed to miss the entire underarm of these plasma cannon wielding Marines, so I'll have to touch that up off camera as soon as this dries up a bit. That's frustrating. It happens. I wouldn't worry too much about it since it's an easy fix, but it's still frustrating. And at least I got these las cannon equipped Marines done proper. And that one doesn't have any Okay, I think I need to let this dry for a bit before moving on, so back in a minute. Okay, next, let's go with some parchment here, if I can find the right, oh there it is, stained ivory, 09142. So parchment and skulls here. I have no idea where that clicking sound is coming from or what is causing it. So, how about silver neck? Or can I? Let's go ahead and hit the officer's skin tone first. Golden Shadow 09091. This is not mixed very well. Better. Go ahead and try the silver anyway. Blackened Steel 09205. Okay. It's gonna leave the gray, the blue, and the gold. think I'm going to need to wait a minute and let a little of this dry first, so back in a few. Okay. Next up, Ancient Bronze 09049. Get the gold. Whoop. And I nicked the purity seal by mistake. Oh boy. I see that's how this segment's starting. Just carefully. Right along the edge here. Using the towel to blot out anything that nicks or gets too thick. Well, it's not all that much to be fair, so. I again go back to a criticism a friend of mine has about Warhammer models, that they're not very detailed, but to be fair, he's right and wrong. He's wrong because there are a lot of details on the chest. He's right because it's more often than not covered up by a weapon. So I think I said that in a way that made sense. It's been a very long week. The sword here has no shortage of details, though. I think I may have gone a little overboard on him, but yeah. Okay. So, been reading the webcomic Vainglorious. This comes to mind since I'm painting servo skulls here, but Buck Vane seems to have a servo skull fetish. Second strip in, he tries to snatch a servo skull attached to an Adeptus Mechanicus. And I think it's the 9th strip they just posted like a week ago. He's petting his tech priest's servo skull like you would a cat. And it looks like he's heading to Vigilance, which is currently the stomping grounds of a speed law. So this could get very interesting. I'm really getting into that script, but I'm kind of hoping at this point, with Blackstone Fortress and Kill Team having rogue traders, that they do it even as just a joke. Buck Vane and his crew. And from what I understand about Blackstone Fortress, having crew like Buck Vane's would pretty much be a high challenge impossible mode. That's just me rambling. For the sake of filling what would otherwise be dead air. Might try to experiment. I think I mentioned that already about it. Experimenting with YouTube's duty-free or copyright-free library. Okay, it's got the gold. Can I do the gray? Not yet. Oh, maybe I can do it anyway. So, pure black 09037. This will require double to triple the normal amount of water. We'll see what happens. You could hypothetically shade an entire model with just pure black, but if you do it too thick or don't water it down nearly enough, you'll end up blurring out pretty much every detail there is. So I might end up redoing this since this is going on the body glove as well. At least that part of it. It dawns on me regarding Vainglorious that Buck Vane is the Imperium's equivalent to Sir Robin from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And by that logic, that would make Cato Sakari as Sir Lancelot, and Gilliman the King Arthur. And it would make Sly Marbo the Chuck Norris meme. Makes perfect sense if you think about it. Trying to be very careful not to nick anything I don't want to. Yeah, may as well. Get creepy angel babies. Melt a bomb. Don't know why, but I can picture that Amorium cherub setting that bomb off by accident, like dropping it off literally in some Imperial commander's lap and setting the thing off. But again, I'm kind of rambling here. I'm not gonna bother. The thing about videos like this is I have exactly one take to do them in. Can't reshoot without stripping the paint off, which, even if it didn't take days, I found it doesn't look quite as good the second time around. Okay. It's going to leave the blue and the stone. Let's try, or no, I can't do the stone before the blue, so I'm going to have to wait and let it dry. Okay, see if I can get through this without any drop frames. Alright, so Rainy Gray 09038. Gonna give the Armorian Cherub a unnatural, disturbing looking skin shade here, because it's not really a natural creation anyway. Where's the brush I've been using all day? There it is. And besides, if even Gilman himself thinks these are creepy, then creepy is how I want to do it. They don't really look cute like you usually see in most Hallmark cards. I'm not sure if I'm thinking of the right brand, but seriously, I think even the most devoutly religious individual would flip out if they saw something looking like this flitting towards them. Especially if it was carrying a big bomb like this thing is. And then Ultramarine Shadow 09187. This one's about shot, but I think I got a spare. Again, those rather crude noises as they grow empty. It's just a little funky just because of how massive these heavy weapons are compared to the normal bolt guns Space Marines commonly use. Carefully getting the hand. Trying not to nick the elbow. Just being really careful around the purity seal and all the other stuff I previously painted on this power pack here. And Devastators have a variant of the standard issue Grieve that's stabilized somehow. Can't remember where I saw that, but some source. It's a different style anyway from the standard. But on fleshing them out completely to a 10-man squad, again adding the extra bolt gun equipped Marines I see as just a way to keep these guys in the game longer. It says somewhere, I can't remember if it's the Codex or if I caught it somewhere else, but the most junior Marines assigned to a Devastator squad will carry bolt guns, while the more experienced ones will take the heavy ordnance. I still think it's a tease with the Tactical Marine kit that they've got the same choices as Devastators for their one heavy weapon, but the kit only comes with a rocket launcher. But the Devastator kit also has a Power Claw, Thunder Hammer, a bunch of other stuff. It's cross-compatible with the other Space Marines kits, so again, I highly recommend getting one just for all the little extras. There's so many skulls on Imperium models. It's a little tricky, at least for me, to tell what's supposed to be just a skull decoration and what's supposed to be an actual skull. Just hoping I have enough paint out. So I'll probably have to redo some of these joints, especially around the legs, but that's alright, I'll just take care of that off camera. No, I'm okay. I thought I might have painted over a purity seal over there by mistake. Uncertain what else on this sensor I'm going to do on the back for lighting effects, but I'm not going to worry about that till after I actually get the rest of the shading done and start looking at those areas. It's a little tricky to get that bit on the back of the head without nicking the hair. I got it. This sergeant actually has the plainest breastplate insignia I have ever seen on a Space Marine. At least thus far, anyway. Just being careful around the wreath or laurel decoration on his cut piece there. What I wanted to do with having the fist here facing up, I wanted to give him kind of a crush them pose. I think that's about the trickiest part on this model. rest should come much more easily. Again, this just takes time and patience and practice. Repetition is the key to all of it. I do like the beaky helmet here, but it doesn't work so well with the big barrel of the las cannon. There. Well, I guess if I put music into this video, you'll know by now what I picked, but I'm gonna be looking. Oh, crud. Well, not worried about hitting the base because that's gonna get painted over anyway. For the pauldrons, there are plenty of choices for fancy ones and plenty of plain ones that are better for putting on whatever iconography you want. I think I might have gone a little overboard on my sergeant, though, with 2 decorative pauldrons, but meh. He still looks cool. And the last guy, let's see how that sure. Yeah, that gray turned out pretty good on the cherub. So yeah, the flat-faced helmet works much better with the las cannon. Beak might have worked a little better if I'd put that on one of the plasma cannon equipped Marines, but did I get all of his yep, I got all his backpack. errant fleck of paint from something in there. Well, that was something. Don't know what, but it was definitely something. In addition to thinning out your paint thoroughly, keep your brush wet in this step too. Okay, that's pretty good on the blue. I just gotta check these plasma Marines one more time, make sure I didn't miss anything underneath. Yeah, I did. Just have to be careful because I don't want to miss anything substantial. Alright. Let that dry, hit the gray, and get the lighting effects started. Alright, I can start the lighting effects while I wait for that blue to dry. 09039 pure white. Yikes. Oh, that's part of the problem. I keep getting my wrist in the camera view. Trying to figure out why my camera's dropping so many frames. Good gravy. And then let's see, and looks pretty good for the plasma cannons. Devastators have some very interesting head sculpts. A lot of extra knickknacks. Targeting sensors, most likely. Carefully getting his eyes. And that and this little. I have no idea still why I keep whispering when I do this. Okay. Now once that dries completely, I'll be able to move on to the last shade and do the lighting effects. Okay, time to finish the lighting effects with a few details first. Pure Black 09037. Not a whole lot I need to do with this, though it would help if the nozzle wasn't plugged up. That's why I keep the paper clips on hand. Using a tiny brush, just carefully. Down in the pupils. Make those a little larger. Not a lot, just a bit. Tiny pupils tend to make a character look insane. The barrel on the bolt gun and the melta gun. Okay. That's it for those details for the time being, but I'll be revisiting it after I highlight. So let's start with the, okay, Ruby Red 09101. And this one's Jam 2. Same metallic color. And with lighting effects, it's one of those situations where you want to use more water than you normally would. So just dot into the eyes there. Lights on the back. Lights I messed up on. Let's blot that out with a towel there. That's why I keep this handy. Get too much here, so I can use the brush to absorb some of that. You want some of the light to show through. Helps to convey light from within better. I suppose I'll give the cherub a pupil, but I wasn't going to originally. Looks kind of grumpy now. Okay, enough joking around. Tiny bit more, and it's better. Let's. Okay. And now Sparkling Blue 09104. It's going to go on the plasma cannons. So, the great debate on when to supercharge your plasmas for the extra damage and power, or strength is the word I'm looking for. In my opinion, it is on turns where a certain model positively, absolutely has to die. And you don't have other options that can do it first. But that's, again, my opinion on strategy. Okay. It's got all the lighting effects going. So I've got one more color to shade. Or no, not this one. Stormy Gray, 09088. It's going on rubble. It's just a bit of that on two specific models. So down near the servo skull's base, and then right here with the captain, or sergeant. And then here with the kneeling sculpt. Okay. Now after that's completely dry, I can highlight and detail. Okay, time to highlight. Rosy highlight, that number is, where is it? 09069. Definitely picked the right shade here. This is just off enough to be disturbing. And golden highlight, 09093. I have a bit much water in the mix. Let's see. Yeah, cloudy gray, 09089. It doesn't matter where I start, to be fair. Still too much water in the brush. Concerning myself with the most readily visible surfaces. Missed a spot over here. It's better. Yeah, Misty Gray 09090. Not too much of this, just a bit on the rubble here. Ultramarine Highlight 09189. Again, going against the gray on details like this will help with the highlighting process, help make them stand out all the more. Realize I forgot a bit of the gray earlier. Let's take care of that. Phoenix Red 09005. This will pick up here as I close in on the end. Burned Orange 09111. Not much of this, just on the strap on the combat weapon over here. Go there, go there. before I forget I have it. Tarnished Brass 09198. True Silver 09207. Just about there. Pale Green 09012. Pale Violet Red 09027. New gold, or wait a minute. Yeah, new gold 09051. Got to do this in the right order to minimize nicking areas. And yeah, that makes me nervous right there, how much that's flapping around, but just have to be cautious. Creamy Ivory 09144. And Blood Red 09003. And pure black 09037 to hit some of the details. Or no, wait a minute. Getting ahead of myself. Okay, actually, at this point, let's go ahead and let it dry, and then I'll finish up the iconography. Okay. Pure white 09039 for the iconography. Still catching my breath from laughing too hard during that last video I uploaded, which was just meant to be some quickie, since I found something incredibly amusing. Not sure if that's one of my best or one of my worst on that iconography right there. It's got to be one of the two. It can't be both. And kind of got the leaders, should have made room over here for the Ultramarine, but that's okay. He can just be special. The sergeant after all. So we'll get the it's a little mucked up, but I can fix it. Okay, that's decent. This arrow is for fire support squads. It's dawned on me that obviously the Ultramarines have the most characters out of any of the chapters, but Imperial Fists, Salamanders, and let's see, Raven Guard. Let's see, Imperial Fists, Salamanders, Raven Guard, White Scars, they only have one each. And the Iron Hands, another founding chapter, don't even have any named characters. Even the Crimson Fists, an Imperial Fist successor, has a named character, Chapter Master Pedro Cantor, and the Black Templars, another Imperial Fist successor, has several, like the Ultramarines, but I feel that these other founding chapters should have a few more characters in them. Just a quick glance at the GW store, not Forge World, but their main store, shows that there aren't really any upgrade kits for most of these other first founding chapters, which is kind of odd. So that needs to dry before I can finish up with the numerals and the basing, so back in a minute. Okay, time to finish the iconography and bases. With pure black 09037, I've just got a clogged bottle here, which is easy enough to fix. It just gives the impression of writing. I'm doing different squad numbers here because these last cannons will eventually be a different squad. And then switching brushes. Just lining the base with black. This is completely arbitrary. Any color will do to finish this up and cover up any errors that, well, not so much errors, but nicks that hit it. Just makes it look nice. And careful around the feet where it comes close to the edge. Don't want to nick it and undo all the work I've put in. Okay, once that's dry, all I have to do is add the talus. Alright, time to get the basic material on, so mix up white glue and water. And I just need to find a brush that's about shot. This will mess up your brushes a little faster, so don't use your best. I think it dropped a word there. I said don't use your best. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out the new camera and why frames keep getting dropped. I'll get it eventually. Just paint around the feet. And then use a separate brush to push the material away. I'm using a mix of rock debris or talus. It's a mix of coarse, medium, and fine. This will need to sit before I seal it, otherwise there will be, or what's the word I'm thinking of? Otherwise the cement I use to seal it will just push the material around instead of holding it in place. When I do seal it, it'll make it rock hard and keep the material firmly on the base and not anywhere else. Any old cheap plastic container is great for mixing these in, so yeah. Well, the internet's abuzz about the insult to everybody that has Monopoly for millennials. But I also know there's a Warhammer 40,000 edition of Monopoly coming up, which could be the only version of Monopoly where you nuke properties. Think about it. It would make perfect sense in a Warhammer version of Monopoly to declare exterminatus on properties. last one. Okay. Once that's dried, I can go ahead and seal it. Last step. Let me turn that speaker down. Speaker was up too high. What the? Testing? Okay. Scenic cement. We're going to seal the talus. Eyedropper. Just carefully drip that on. A little of this goes a long way. Just want it to look moist. And if you don't let it set first, this will just make holes as it pushes the material out of the way. Got the Armorium cherub here. A little more. Always clean your equipment out when you're done with it. Brushes and the eyedropper here. And that is it. Set it Devastators from Warhammer 40,000, and more on the way. Until next time, I'm Ian Stogie with Mastermind Games, signing out.